ladies and gentlemen, I'm GC Smith and welcome to the Blues News for the March 28th, 2012. This day is a Wednesday. And I'd like to quickly say that there has been large gaps between this and the last Blues News. It has something to do with the fact that not many people watched it. I think I've had like total 4 views. So if you watch this, please like and comment that you want to see more of this. I'd love to do something like this where it's general news from Blizzard, maybe from other game companies, and general gaming news, possibly, and just call it under the title Blues News, with Blues referring to moderators or general people in the know and, authority figures and stuff like that. But at the moment it can only be occasionally when there's generic, Blizzard news. It's kind of important and not relevant necessarily directly to the beta, general beta-ness, or to a class that I cover, like mages and hopefully monks. Or hopefully mages, because I haven't done much content on them yet, if any. So you got all that stuff to contend with. So there's a lot of stuff I want to try and do. So I'd love to get these out a bit more regularly, but you need to show it some love. Do like if you do like this sort of thing, and also put what kind of stuff you'd like me to do for this kind of segment, the Blues News. I'd like to do maybe a mail bit at the end where I read some people's comments and stuff, or answer questions. But then I'm afraid it'd become too much like the mailbox and whatever. Even though it wouldn't be daily, but I don't want to end up looking like I'm copying people. I mean, yes, a lot of channels follow similar formats, and at the end of the day we do, because you need to, because people want those formats, but they want it done in a different style. People want people that do different things, so that's out there. But anyway, I need to go quickly on to the proper news that we're here to cover today, and that is a general, Blues posts done by Blizzard, and general Blizzard news. Firstly, the Miss Pandaria beta has begun as of a week ago today. For those who have been living under a rock. Otherwise, it's pretty obvious news. Anyway, let's get on to some news that'll be interesting to people. 2 Warlocks, yes, the evil anti-mage cousins who deserve to be slain for even playing a Warlock, but that's neither here nor there. But I mean, they're characters, not people. You shouldn't be slaying people like that. But either way, there is stuff that we need to cover for the Warlocks, because there has been some interesting news. So in the beta, there was added a glyph. Can't remember what the glyph was called, but effectively turned Metamorphosis into... It appeared to change Metamorphosis into some sort of tanking ability. Or gave you some tanking abilities in your Metamorphosis bar. And people would go, oh look, Warlock tanks are coming. And then everyone was really excited, started working out how to gear, how to spec, how to do general things to make it a very tanky spec. And it worked out there are ways to keep your tanking, your Metamorphosis going because of this glyph. Then Ghostcrawler came out and said, no, sorry, this isn't designed to make Warlocks tanks. Warlocks will not be able to queue as tanks in Looking for Raid or Dungeon Finder. They're not meant to be tanks. What we're doing is revisiting an idea we had, say, back in Burning Crusade, where Warlocks were capable, in demon form, which they had even in Burning Crusade, were capable of tanking temporarily some fights, maybe putting the boss off something. And I know in Serpent Shrine Cavern we definitely we used a Warlock on one of the bosses there, and so I know there are it has been done in the past, and they're trying to bring back that idea that Warlocks, because I guess they've already got Warlocks and Shadow Priests are effectively similar, or Warlocks have their pets and whatever, but I mean Warlocks are unique enough as it is, and they're getting a tanking thing. It kind of annoys me when these classes are visited on a much deeper scale than, say, mages or rogues ever were. My main used to be a rogue, and now I'm playing a mage, and mages barely get revisited much. I know people go, oh, well, they're overpowered. Yes, they might be. I'm never good enough in PvP, really, yet to do that, and to be fair, I've not found mages to be that powerful. Fire at the moment depends too much on RNG. You need to create... Yes, they're changing that in Miss Pandaria. Thank goodness you're getting the RNG, rid of RNG in Fire spec. No spec should be dependent on critting. Sorry, but it shouldn't. The fact that, yes, you should have same cool procs that use crits. Fair enough. But the entire core DPS of the spec should not be dependent on critting. Fire is dependent on Ignite crits. That is simply it. And that's what's happened. But anyway, going on to the Warlock. So he did come out and say that no, you shouldn't have We're not aiming to make you main tanks. You're designed, as you were in Burning Crusade, occasionally, to say if your main tank dies, to quickly pop Metamorphosis, or this new spec. Actually, he said that the version they got in-game, or in-house, back at their studio, of the glyph has changed slightly since the one that's on the beta, and basically it puts you... It adds another spell to your ability, which is a alternate Metamorphosis that's permanent. I think he said it was permanent, and it kind of gives you some defensive capabilities, but it's not designed to be hammered on like a tank, and will not have gear available to the class, to usable gear to allow them to tank properly. And so it's designed to say pull a boss off to stop it running away and killing other people. You're survivable a bit. You've got a couple long cooldowns you can cast to increase your survivability temporarily, while someone battle reses your tank and gets it back, and then you go back to DPSing. And I think this is a very interesting idea. It's a shame that they're not getting... Well, actually, is it a shame for them? I don't really know. It's kind of a shame, I guess, they're not getting the, say, full tank spec. Not that I care about them. I'm mage. I want Arcane to be changed a bit. Sorry, Arcane's incredibly boring, and none of the changes they're doing in Miss Pandaria are relevant. Some of them don't really make sense. Hey, let's give people more of a use to cast Arcane Blast. Okay, Arcane Barrage. Okay, let's take away all reason of Arcane Missiles. Really? Oh yeah, okay, 25% increased damage from Arcane Missiles. Fair enough, Arcane Missiles may technically still be a higher DPS than Arcane Barrage. That maybe have to be seen, I may have to see the maths on that. So it could still technically have a use. But anyway, going on to the second Warlock issue. Warlocks have been told there is green fire in the works, but have, however, been told they will not be available for Miss Pandaria on release. It could be patched in Miss Pandaria, it could come in the next expansion, which people are already theorising is demon related. It's possible, quite likely. It could just be Naga related expansion, more specifically focused on the old gods, rather than stuff. Because yes, okay, you can argue that Cataclysm focused on the old gods, but it really didn't. It was focused on Deathwing, one of their minions. I reckon an old god expansion would be massive, and they'd have to do incredibly well. Maybe that's why they're shying away from doing it as an expansion at the moment, because you can't have their minion be so powerful, and then have them, I don't know, have them as an end rate. What would you have as you beat up more minions? But they just had a really powerful minion. It just makes them seem weaker. So I guess that may be why they're not approaching it yet. Waiting for them to build up more powerful minions before they do that. Who knows? But anyway, yes, they will be getting green fire apparently at some point, but not in the release on an expansion. So sorry to you, Warlocks. Now, there is some other blue posts recently that have been kind of interesting. They've explained how the looting work, the new Looking for Raid loot system will work. Now I just want to kind of cover it. More detailed will be in below. All Bluez posts that I'm talking about will be linked below. Courtesy of MMO Champion. Thank you very much for MMO Champion keeping track of these sort of things. But anyway, I just want to kind of quickly explain it. You have player A and player B, and player A is a paladin, player B is a shaman. Both are intendants of a Looking for a boss kill, and one of them is chosen to get loot. Now, there's another 23 players, and say you randomly chosen which people win. It's not a dependent of every player rolls a dice, the 3 highest get an item. No, because that's dependent on other players, and that's effectively the same system we've got currently. No, the idea behind it, one of the things we had heard was that you choose a win, and then if the boss has dropped an item you can use, you get that item. If not, you get gold or flask. But then there'd be an item that the boss would drop and no one would win. So, no, it's kind of worded a bit better. That may have been an issue with the wording they gave us originally. The wording better is, like, say you've got 23 people. But anyway, for this example, player A wins and player B doesn't. Well, yeah, player A wins and player B doesn't. Player A, the paladin, will win something relevant to a spec, which was tank for this instance. So he'll win a tanking item that the boss could drop. So it's designed for tanks that the boss could drop. So that may just be, he may just have a tank ring and a tank trinket. And he happens to win the ring. The shaman wins nothing. So he doesn't get an item whatsoever. That would be how it works normally. However, there is a new item you can get in the game which focuses on 2 expansions. No, not 2 expansions, 2 factions, sorry. And there's the faction of I can't remember the names, but I'll just call them Power Faction and... oh, what's the correct word? Accessory Faction. So the Power Faction sells, when you get rep and items with them, sells you things like actual epics and in-game gear, maybe crafting recipes and all these things like head and shoulder enchants. The Accessory Faction only gives you items to transmog your gear, sell pets and companions and stuff, and give you lore items, and maybe more cool looking gear, but nothing that's powerful. Maybe some just fun little pets, and maybe a mount or something, but just funness. Maybe even buff food, but nothing really mega power like the Power Faction. Each has their own resource, and the way they're doing this is to kind of make sure that each faction, there's something for just the players that only care about increasing their power and raiding. But there's something for the players that want other stuff to do outside of that to gain cool looking gear. Maybe they don't like the look of, maybe they're not hardcore PvE, so they won't do challenge mode, but there's still something available that looks kind of cool for them. The Power Faction will be selling, I think it's Power Faction, will be selling something called a Lucky Charm. So let's take my coin here and use it as a Lucky Charm. So this Lucky Charm, well, let's go back to loot scenario. Effectively, this Lucky Charm is something that allows you to get an extra chance at loot from a boss you kill. You can only use one per boss, but you can save them, and they can be used on all 3 modes of difficulty in raids. So, as we know, player A, doesn't matter, player A, which was in my left hand, your right side, probably at the screen, but player A won an item and has a coin. Now, he's already won an item, but he can still choose to use the coin. And when you use the coin, you will win. You always win something, but there is a small chance, maybe, 10% chance or so, that you can win a item from the boss's loot table again. So, this player wins some gold. He doesn't get, he doesn't win a boss from the a loot item from the boss's loot table, so he just gets some gold or some flasks or some buff food. The Shaman, however, had the Lucky Charm as well. He uses it through a UI that comes up, they've said. He uses it and gets a item from the boss. And he gets a boss's loot table item. So he wins a Shaman healing cloak because he was a healer. Right? So it gives you an extra chance of loot and whatever. Now, in addition to this raiding stuff, I want to clarify, they've clarified what Valor Points will be doing. They've not really focused on just this points. Effectively, Valor Points will be obtainable from things like raids, dungeons, and scenarios, and maybe some daily stuff. And yes, it's becoming more available, but because of that, they're making it so you can't buy gear with it. No siree, gear will not be buyable with Valor Points at the current intention. Its only purpose is to upgrade gear you've already got. So and effectively what they've said, I think, is only upgrade epic gear. I haven't got a direct quote for that. It's something I've heard, maybe in the post I'll link. Either way, they've said that you only upgrade epic gear, you only upgrade safe epic gear at the moment, and so that will require you to get some reputation gear and then go into raids, and hopefully they won't give out lots of epics in heroic dungeons. Hopefully they keep away from that, who knows. Anyway, so the epic's available. So say you win a Looking for Raid epic. You go into Looking for Raid for a week and don't win any epics. You do, however, have a faction epic, single faction epic, which is obviously, I guess, the same as a normal raid item level. Maybe, I think, around that item level. Maybe Looking for Raid item level now. Maybe Looking for Raid item level, because that'll be its kind of intention. So it's Looking for Raid item level. And you then have 1,000 Valor Points. So you didn't win the Looking for Raid item, but you can choose some of these Valor Points, maybe all 1,000, I don't know how much it'll cost, to upgrade this Looking for Raid item level, reputation item, to a normal raid item level thing. It may be slightly worse itemized than raid item level, but it still gives you the item level and maybe slightly better stats that helps you. It kind of increases the amount of upgrades you get, because it won't cost ridiculous amounts. Yes, it still screws you over if you have bad luck in getting items, but at the end of the day, it's slightly better, I think, for hardcore raiders to swallow, because it means these people that aren't raiding aren't getting raid gear. They're getting raid quality gear, they're not getting raid gear, right? They're getting gear of the same item level maybe as raiding, but they're not getting raid gear. They're not getting, they're not getting item sets, they're not getting all this sort of stuff, because they don't need it. They really don't need any of that gear available to them, right? They want epics. Well, okay, here you go, have some low-level, item-level epics. I'm not giving you normal raid epics, you don't need them if you're only going to do dungeons, you don't need them. Yes, there's an encouragement to raid, but hopefully they'll realise that you don't need to nerf heroic raid. Please don't nerf heroic raids in Miss Pandaria. Sorry, but Your argument that everyone pays the same, so they should have access to the content. Well, they already do have access to content. They go, well, no, we're not good enough. Well, you're not good enough. That's not the same as not having access. Me saying you don't have access to it is saying you are locked until you have 1800 rating, right? In something, you do. I'm not denying you access, you just need to get good enough to gain access. Think of all these single player games, when people buy them, they have multiple tiers of difficulty, no one goes, well, I don't have access to hard mode because I'm not good enough to do it. You do have access, you're just not good enough to win in that access. You don't need to nerf heroic modes, and on that point, nerfing heroic mode stops it being heroic. So people argue they want access to heroic. Sure, they want it to stay difficult, so they're actually accessing that mode. But they just want the appearance of getting to heroic gear. In fact, most of them only want the heroic gear. They don't care about the heroic fights. And these people don't need gear because they're not good enough for the game. Sorry, but they don't deserve gear just because they pay for the game. That's not how it works. You pay for the game to have access to the servers and have the option to do things. That's how it works. But anyway. There's some blue posts there, and I just want to, make sure that a lot more people are aware of these blue posts. And it's kind of content I can do at the moment because I still haven't got access to Miss Pandaria beta yet. My code hasn't come from my annual pass. I mean, it should come soon. I was up, I signed up as soon as it came out. But I don't know. We'll see. I've still got other content I want to plan. There's some theoretical mage stuff I want to cover. There's some PvP stuff I want to cover. So there will be more content come out. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like if you like the video, and please subscribe if you subscribe so I know there's more people that want to watch my videos and kind of see more videos of mine. And also comment below what kind of videos you'd like to see for the beta. What kind of beta coverage do you want? I'm an Alliance player, so you will be seeing a lot of Alliance. People like Jesse Cox and Wow Crendor do Horde coverage, and they do it really well, so you can just see their Horde coverage. I'm always an Alliance player. I'm not just doing an Alliance player, so I don't compete with them. I'm an Alliance player on live, and you can go and search for my character. But no, I just want to know what kind of content do you want me to see. Quest zones, monk stuff, the monk, the Pandaren starting zone. I will be doing a few live streams when I get access, and then some of those live streams will go live, and I will post a link to my live stream thing below, so you can go and follow that pre-ready. I just want to know what kind of things. Also, what kind of things you want to see done to this? Do you want a mail section at the end? Yes, it might make the videos slightly longer, or it might mean I cover lesser news and do more videos, do it over a more daily basis. Who knows? So, what kind of stuff do you want to see? I'm not necessarily capable of doing it. I'm about to get into my exam revision period. I just want to know what kind of stuff you guys want to see. What kind of things do you want? So, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video anyway. Hope you got some information if you've come to watch this. Please hit like if you like. If you don't like it, don't like it. You don't have to. If you hate it, well, the dislike's there. I wouldn't encourage people to use it, but that's its purpose. Go ahead, use it. I'm not going to discourage you from using it if you want to. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the videos, and I hope you look out for more of my videos in the future. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.